Hello everyone, today we are starting our first lesson on learning how to code in Roblox Studio. Right now we have to get used to the basics, so let's learn about some stuff going up at the top here. Okay, I'm sorry I'm such an idiot, but when I was recording this video I forgot to mention how to move around, so I am just going to really quickly go over that. So to move around, to move forward, it's just W. To move to the right side, it's D. To move backwards, it's S. And to move left, it's A. So, just the standard WASD. And you can look around by right-clicking, like holding the right-click button, and you can look around. And if you hold down your mouse wheel, you can also do this. Okay, back to the video. So, these are different tabs, and each of these help us make games. So, this home section comes with tons of basic tools to build and move around. So, for example, this button right here at the top is very important. It makes you insert parts, like this. And these are used to click your block, which is select, move your block, which is move, scale your block, which is scale, which just sizes it up and down, and then rotate your block, which is rotate. So this UI button brings you to a different tab completely, which will allow you to create buttons on your screen. And this is going to be super important later on, so remember this. This import 3D button is used to import 3D models if you have made them in Blender, which is more of an advanced thing, and we might talk about that later. So these two buttons up at the top here are very important. They're called color and material. Basically, what these two do is they allow you to customize your parts. There is another way you can also do this, and I'll explain that in a second, but you can basically change the color of this. So I want to change this color to red, and I'm going to make the material, search up, like right here, brick. Okay, and there we go, now we got like a red wall. I can like scale it up and stuff like that, yep. Okay. Also, one thing to keep in mind when you select stuff using these two buttons, it will automatically save it. So if you don't want to do that, then you should use the other method, which I'll show in a bit. But basically, this will happen. You insert a part and it'll automatically apply the color and material right here. Alright, now we are going to go to the model tab. It also helps us build, but it gives us more advanced features. I'll show you a couple of examples. These are also pretty important. These are effects, so you can do stuff like explosions, fire, point light, which is also very important. You can also put in a spawn. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, let's continue though. So avatar is used to make rigs. Test is used to test your game. So if you want to use multiple players, you can do that. View is very important. So this is probably one of the ones I use the most, to be honest. So you can select what you see here or how your studio is laid out. I personally use a toolbox on the left side and an explorer and properties menu on the right side with my output on the very bottom. This is a pretty simple overlay, but so basically whenever you're looking for a tab to put on the side of your studio, you go into view to find it. Okay, now plugins is more of a personal thing, but you can get plugins using the Roblox marketplace, and it will help you with whatever you're getting plugins for. So if I insert a part here, I have not this. Oh, God damn. Okay, basically, okay, for example, one of my plugins that I use the most is this Add Easy Textures plugin. It will allow me to add textures. So we have, I want to add wood, let's say. I'm going to add it to all the sides, and I'm going to add texture. And there we go. And now this makes perfect segue to talk about one of the most important parts of Roblox Studio, the properties panel. This is basically just the settings of whatever you're selecting. So right here you see it says brick color fossil. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can change the color and it won't save it. This is what you use, brick color. Like I want to, let's say, make it reddish brown, okay? And you can, fun fact, you can also change the properties using code, which we will do in a second. But yeah, you see cast shadow, you can turn that on and off. You can change the material, transparency, which now it's just the texture that's showing. Yep, and also the most important property when you are building is anchored. Okay, now I'm going to show you what anchored does. So this part is in the air, and I'm going to click play, and as you see, because it's not anchored, it will fall to the ground. But now, if I do anchor it, it stays in the sky, right there. The next most important thing is your explorer, which is arguably more important than your properties, but it allows you to go through all the assets in your game, and you can add stuff and remove stuff. So basically, this is how we insert scripts. So we'll get coding in a second. We'll get to coding in a second, but basically you can add stuff here, like a script or proximity prompt or a decal, stuff like that. The next panel we're going to be talking about is the output panel, and this is where all your like bugs and like errors in your code get shown. And also, if you're printing stuff, it will also appear here. Yeah, it's a really useful panel. This panel is one of the most useful ones because you can find out what's wrong with your code and then you can debug it. Okay, this last panel I don't really use that much. I just use it to like even out my Roblox Studio, or sometimes I use it. But it's basically the toolbox that you just use free models. I don't really like to use this, but it does have some good plugins. See, like for example, if I wanted to add this car, I can add this car, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of the models are good, some of the models are bad. Most of the models have viruses though, so you just gotta be careful. Okay, so now that we've gone over the basics, we are now going to code. So let's get into coding our very first thing. Okay, so the very first thing we are going to do to code is we're going to insert a part, which we can do by clicking this button, as I mentioned before. And also, by the way, you don't have to use a block. You can use other types of parts as well, but I'm just going to use a block because it's the most common one. Okay, and now we're going to focus on it by pressing F. This one's not required, but I just like to do this while coding for a specific part. Okay, and now we're going to go to the Explore tab, and we are going to click the plus, and we are going to insert a script. So, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is define our part, which will allow us to add properties and stuff like that. So we're gonna say local. Okay, now we're gonna name our variable. So I'm gonna just call it brick. Okay, and equals script.parent. Okay, so basically in this line of code right here, we're defining our variable, and we're saying the variable brick is the script's parent, which is the part. So earlier on in the lesson, I was talking about how we can change properties using code, and I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. So you can say like brick.anchored equals true, okay? And as you know, or as you may or may not know, since we just inserted this part, it's not anchored. And we can double check that in the properties panel. It's not anchored. So theoretically, without the script, the brick should fall when we press play. But because we said that the brick is anchored, it's gonna not fall. And as you can see, the part does not fall. You can even like hit it and jump on it and it won't fall down. So we can do more stuff like transparency is equal to 0.5, which changes the transparency. Also, you can change the brick color by doing brick color equals brick color dot new, and then in parentheses you can select your color now. I'm gonna do blue. Let's do dark blue. Yeah. And now we're gonna press play. And as you see, the properties have been changed. Honestly, that's all I'm going to do for teaching you guys how to change properties using scripts, because I kind of want you guys to experiment with that. There's a lot you can do, and I can't cover it all in one video. So you guys should go experiment with that. It's really fun. Let's continue our lesson. Okay, so let's get into coding our if and let's get into coding. Okay, so now let's get into coding our if and then statement. So if brick dot anchored is equal to true, and the reason I'm putting two equal signs is because this means equal to and this means equal. So equal to is like when you're looking for just like a value. Yeah. So true. So if brick dot anchored equals true, then print hello. I like apples. I don't know, bro. I don't know what to say. So basically, what is going on in these 3 lines of code is it's a conditional statement where if the brick is anchored, which obviously it is, if it's anchored and that's true, then it will print in the output, which we mentioned before, it will print hello, I like apples. Very stupid, but yeah. So this is a very simple if and then statement. Usually if and then statements can get pretty complicated, but yeah. Also, something to note, these end statements are where your code ends, or where a certain function ends. There's 2 versions of them. There's this, and there's this. I'll get more in depth later, but usually they're like indented or something. Okay. So now let's play and see if our code works. And as you see, it says hello, I like apples, and it literally also says the line that it comes from, line 8, because brick.anchored is true. So now, if I change this to brick.anchored equals false, now it should not print because brick.anchored is no longer true. And as you see, it falls. This is kind of like a simple version of how if and then statements work. If and then statements are very important while coding. And you can do this with literally anything as well. So you can say, you can do the same with the brick transparency, the brick color. Yeah. So anyways, guys, that's our first lesson. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.